Hey guys, and welcome to a Pep Talk with DDP. And here joining me today is one of my very good friends, Nadia. And it's kind of like Regis and Kathy Lee.
Yeah.
If you go back that far. Whoa!
Whoa! I think we should leave that. I think that's going to be great. Hello, Kelly.
Hi.
Hey, Kelly, how are you?
I'm here. I'm good, I guess.
So, Kelly, you're looking for some inspiration? Is that what you signed up for?
Yes. Some life events. Just kind of making everything a little difficult right now.
Oh, family stuff? Where you at?
Lost my dad.
Oh, that's always the worst.
2 weeks before Summit, actually. So, and it was a week before Summit that, we said goodbye. So just everything since then has just been a struggle.
Well, you know that the only prescription for all that is time, and the positive side is that the memories you have, obviously they're good, because people who don't get along with their parents, and there's plenty of them, many people don't. So when you're lucky enough to have had an amazing relationship with someone, that's where the memories, should be filled with good things instead of, I miss Dusty. If Dusty was more my dad, big brother, best friend, than my dad ever would have been. I just remember all the funny times I had with him and the good times. And have you been sticking to your workouts? Have you been training right? No?
It's just like, I get up, I go to work. That's all I can manage.
Well,
on a daily basis.
You can manage.
It's for once, I want to do it. I want to work out. Before, when I'd have my down times or whatever, it would be no big deal. Oh, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week, next month. And it didn't bother me. Now it bothers me. I want to. I can't. Because
you're telling yourself you can't. If we are the story we tell ourselves, you've read the book, you know the formula, you're just forgetting. And sometimes it's just showing up, just being there, getting on the mat. I've left the gym plenty of times back when I used to lift heavy, going oh man, what I do to my shoulder or my back or my knee, whatever. I never get off that mat and go, boy, I wish I didn't do that, ever, ever. And when you're dealing with the stress you're putting yourself under, which is all self-induced, it is. That's what it is. I know, because we all go through it, but at some point you have to move forward, because your father wouldn't want you there in that mindset. So that I can, we both know, and I didn't know him, but we both know that. So what relieves that? Oh, exercise. Exercise and breathing. I can hear you breathe you're breathing like you're not using your breath at all. I'm going to share something with you here that, I talk about it really to everyone that will listen. Now, are they actually listening to what I'm saying? That's a different story. But your breath controls your life. You can go without, weeks really without eating food. You can go days without drinking water, but you can't go minutes without breathing. It's the most important thing we do. So because of that, however, God created this incredible thing we call a body that so many of us take advantage of and literally put themselves last. This is your vehicle, and this is what runs it, the 6-inch piece of real estate in between your ears. But this breath is what controls it. The only difference between excitement and fear is whether you're breathing or not. Think about it. When you're excited, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing, I'm having the best time. Or you get in an accident, it's, I will guarantee you, every time that you are starting to feel that anxiety and that depression, put a mirror right next to your mouth. You won't see anything. You won't see any fog. You'll see a very light tint of air coming out. So I'm going to challenge you to take that breath. Just go and hold it. Now take control of your breath and just slowly take a deep breath for me. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Now slowly control your breath. You get to control that. Slowly exhale all the air out. Now, take another deep breath. Doesn't stop there. And then slowly exhale. And just keep doing that until you come back online. When you are deep breathing, you personally, your human self, are sending neurohormones to inhibit stress-producing hormones, which triggers a relaxation response in the body. Now, you can stay in that dark place you're in. Your dad never would have wanted you to be there. So you're doing it against him, and you're depressing the shit out of yourself. So stop. Stop doing that. You got something to think about your dad, laugh, cry, whatever, have fun with it. You're lucky enough to have those memories. I don't, and I'm not saying poor me, but I don't, because I wasn't lucky enough to be you.
Yeah, I think Dallas definitely wants to encourage people to feel what they're supposed to be feeling, because it sounds like you're not really allowing yourself to process and think about some of the things that are happening in your life.
Yeah.
And that can halt your breath, like he says, it's a biological response. So, yeah, I think just letting yourself feel what you need to feel is going to get you past this hurdle. And
working out, de-stressing yourself, focus on your breath. Only time starts to heal. It never completely heals, but you have so many great memories. I mean,
yeah. And when your brain can't get there, your body can get there. If you work out, it's going to release endorphins. It's going to help you get past these mental hurdles because your body's going to be helping you work towards it.
And I'm going to challenge you for the next 30 days. Get up, get on the mat. First thing you do. For today, I don't care how good or bad it looks. Just get there, girl. Because showing up, sometimes that's all it takes. Just show up. And do it for 30 days. You get a hold of Nadia, and we'll come back around and we'll talk about it again. Mm-hmm. This is something we're going to be doing.
And then, Kelly, I want to bring up something real quick, too, just because I feel like we probably need Dallas to tell you how this is going. So you came to Summit, right? And for those that you don't know that are joining for the first time, Summit's an event where we invite some of our biggest transformations, and Kelly was there. But how were you feeling before and after Summit when you were here and you got to experience that?
Before it was just kind of like, why am I here? Like at one point I was like a massive success, from like 2019, started 2019. I started the program out of absolute necessity, had an awful knee injury, had no insurance. So I had met Dallas that previous September at a horror hound in Indianapolis. And I got like a 30-day free on the app thing, tucked it in my wallet. Didn't think I'd ever use it, but I ended up pulling it out in February of 2019. And from that point to the end of 2020, when I had my first bout of COVID that has just been a nightmare, I lost over 100 pounds. I was in the best shape of my life. I was ripped, like loving life. Everything was great. And then, life happens. You fall off. Self-care takes a back seat a lot of times, and that's what it did with me. And so when I got to Summit, I was like, I talked to no one. Like I talked to 2 people the whole time I was there, and that's because they gave me no choice really, but that was fine. And I just I'm looking around and I saw all these people. I've seen them for years on Facebook, on, YouTube and things like that. And I'm like, why am I here? Like, I don't belong here. But then after couple workouts at Summit. I'm like I had told Dallas that I'm like, this has been so therapeutic for me. And I was ready to come home and just like kill it, kick all of the ass there was to kick. And then I get home and here I am.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also about your environment, you know? When you're around the people that have been through what you've been through, which is why we tell people to join the community, you're able to really feel that connection in that community that helps you move forward. So I think for you now, it's how do you take that into your current environment? Because when you leave your environment, that's what they say, you got to leave your environment for things to change sometimes. How can you bring that into your place now? I mean, I don't know if Dallas, if you have some words maybe to tell her, hey, you're enough and you deserve to be here, you know?
Bottom line is that, like I said in the beginning, it's going to take time. But you can take it the really hard road time, or you can take it the smoother road time. And that's why I'm challenging you. I'm challenging you for the next 30 days. Get up. I don't care if it's Energy 2.0 or Double Black Diamond or one of the crazy live Hayden workouts, you know? I don't care what it is. Just doing something to give you something to look forward to. Something that, you know, gives you a set, like if you've, you know, fallen out of shape to where you're not happy where you're at, what's the new goal? You see, having something to look forward to, because you know it works, you just gotta go back and start doing what you did before. It will help with your stress level. You know, that you're putting yourself through, you are beating yourself up, and you don't deserve that, you know? And you did belong. Like, we don't, like you've seen the way I roll, man. I don't judge anybody over anything. I don't care where they were or what they've come to. It's like, where are they right now? You know, making their best, being present, all right? And just like, you can do it. And you know the community, you know, people will reach out and, you know, and just encourage you and help you, but you got to put the work in. It's not just going to happen. Everybody can talk to you till they're blue in the face, but it ain't going to work until you start working. Am I wrong? Right or wrong?
Oh, you're right.
You can do it. I know you can do it.
And we're here to support you. Well, thank you for joining us, Kelly. We appreciate you calling in. And we will see you around. Keep in touch. Okay?
But in 30 days, I want to hear from you, like 29 days, and then we'll bring you back up here and we'll talk about it. Yep. But you got, you know, all right? So that, again, that gives you something to look forward to, all right? But you got to put the work in to get there.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
Thank you so much, Kelly. We'll see you later.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Hello, Paul. How are you?
Surviving. How are you?
Good. We're glad to see you.
Paul, I'm going to let you know. We had over the last day and a half, we had 137 people reach out and want to hear something that's going to help spark them back on track, or whatever the reason is they've decided to come on this. Out of 137, there was been 4 picked. You were one of them. So what you take out of this is whatever you're going to put into it moving forward. So tell me about where you are, bro.
Sure. So currently struggling a little bit.
In what way?
Actually, yesterday I resigned from my job. It was a little bit more toxic than I anticipated it would be in the first place.
So that sounds like a positive, but go ahead.
It's a positive. I knew that I couldn't heal from the same environment that hurt me, and I didn't want to end up bleeding on people that didn't cut me. So I left that toxic situation.
I mean, that's powerful. That's a really big, powerful move to do. Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I recently got my license to be a therapist, so I'm trying to be more positive in my own aspects so I could inspire and obviously do some psychotherapy with some clients. Long story short, first, I've been a wrestling fan since the early 90s, late mid 90s. So I've been following DDP since WCW, WWE, TNA, even in AEW. 2016, I thought I was at my heaviest at 220. So I got the program. I was always interested in DDPY, DDP Yoga at the time. It's not just yoga, I know, but you know.
Hey, I'm good with DDP yoga. Always have been. You know,
Yeah, of course.
It's just calling it the Y word by itself. And only
Sure.
because if you're a yogi and you're watching what we're doing, they're like, what the f are they doing? You know, that's not yoga. Like, exactly. That's what I say. So go ahead.
Yeah. My yoga instructor, who would be DDP, is yelling at me more than anything. Anyway, got the program in 2016, the DVDs. Me and my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, did the program. I lost all the weight I wanted to do. Could do, you know, the roundhouse, the hold a plank for 3.5 minutes. Everything great. Ended up having back surgery, and then hit with one adversity after another between the surgery. Then I failed my licensing exam after my master's degree. Was in a tough spot with, you know, bills and you know, everything piling up. So I went to work overnights as much as I can, just to kind of get the differential bonus. I did overnights at a group home with autistic adults. And then, you know, you're trying to stay up overnight, so you're eating, you're not, you know, you're there for the guys, but you're trying to stay awake for them. Mm-hmm. So after doing overnights for about 3 years, I became a behavior specialist, and then more of a sedentary job at the time. So I gained more weight. So I not only did I put the 220 back, I put on 45 pounds extra. And that's kind of where I'm at now. Now I have a 2-year-old daughter. I want to be able to play with her and get on the floor easier and all that stuff. But I would start the program again. I have the app and do it for a week or two and fall off. You know, that would be the consistent thing. My colleague, former colleague, Chris, would always tell me, "Oh, it's not day one. You just happen to work out today, so just keep up going with that." He was a good positive influence in my life, and we still talk. But yeah, so just trying to get that over that hurdle, I guess, and trying to be there for my daughter.
Well, being a psychologist, you know more than anyone.
Yeah.
It's a story you tell yourself.
Yeah.
So whatever you're doing, stop. Stop that and change it to go in a different direction. You know, every one of us pulls ourselves down. You know, you've heard the quote that I've said, the repetitions of affirmations leads to belief. And once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. You know, what it really comes down to is that repetitions of affirmation can be good and bad. Yours, good, we got yourself out of that job because that you don't want to be in a toxic place. You know, life, first of all, life is way too short to be in that environment, and that you had the wherewithal, you know, and the spot to be able to say, I'm out of here, I'll get another job. You got to take that as a win, you know, and then more than anything, you got to start, I challenge everybody who comes on this show, is give me 30 days. Like, give me 30 days when you wake up in the morning, before you hit the ground, start saying positive, like, I'm going to kick this workout's ass. I don't care if it's Energy 2.0 again. You know, I don't care if it's Double Black Diamond. I don't care if it's one of our live workouts, something from Hayden or Josh or Paige. You know, challenge yourself, you know, because you got to get, you know, you got to get back on track, and how you're going to get there is by making yourself feel better about yourself. Because the affirmations that you've been telling yourself were so bad that you finally said, I got to get the f*** out of here, you know? Yeah. So you got that, and it has to be a lifestyle, bro, for you to really, like so many of us, and I walk the talk, you know, and that's why, here, you know me, you're watching me since you were a kid, you know, I've been doing this since 99. It's 25 years, man. You know, and I made it a business in 2005 because I was loving what I was doing. But it took 8 years to be an overnight success. And there were times where I'd second guess myself, you know. But you know what I do? I get on the mat, I put in a freelance workout going through for an hour, got up, took a shower, and felt okay, boom, keep moving forward. You know, and I was lucky enough to have Arthur Borman in 2007, that's when that happened, not 2012, like when Steve redid the video and it took off. Right. You know, so I knew it worked. I just had to keep believing when no one else did. You know, oh yeah, that yoga thing he does. Oh, what's it now? You know, it's a whole different animal. And it's put us in scenarios like this, where I'm here with my good buddy Nadia, who's one of my top managers, who sometimes it's me and Steve, sometimes it's me and her. Like, they're part of this whole team we have to help people get back on track again. So you need to, more than anything, just make that decision that you're gonna do it. Have you ever done the list?
I did the list. I watched
When?
documentaries.
When?
I watched Relentless. All that stuff.
When did you do the list?
2-3 years ago.
Again, do it again.
Gotcha.
Repetition is the mother of what?
Affirmation.
Right, of learning, information, you know, reps. The reason why Tom Brady will be the greatest of all time until Mahomes, if he doesn't get hurt, could catch him very well. Just like LeBron James took Jabbar, took the top spot in leading scorer. Reps, reps, reps. Repetition is the mother of learning. Get your head up. You left that negative job, start finding the right one for you. But the only thing you can control right now, besides what's happening within your family, is you.
Yeah. And I also want to highlight, too, that just what you've been telling us, the overnight shifts, the type of job that you do, it sounds like you're used to filling up other people's cups before you fill up your own. You know,
Yes.
It sounds like you're used to taking care of others before you prioritize yourself. And as someone that does that, and I've had to work a lot on that, you can't be the best version of you, and you know this, unless you work on yourself to help, you know, that's how you help others.
Yeah, of course.
You have to work on yourself.
Yeah, it's like in the airplane where they tell you to, you know, secure your own oxygen before you assist,
Exactly. And, you know, this is just a part of that, a part of making time for yourself, a part of walking it out. And you will be a better person for your family and for your clients and for the people that you're helping if you just are able to breathe and take care of yourself first. And that's part of it.
And let's go to breathing, because I always want to touch that, and every time we talk to somebody, what does breath mean to you, bro?
Inhaling, counting for 5, exhaling.
How often do you practice it?
Not often enough.
Right, so start. Take that deep breath, bro. Hold it, and then slowly exhale it. And I do it when I'm driving sometimes. And that's how I got really good at it, because when you're driving, it's just me in the car and I'm on autopilot. You know, God's my co-pilot. And
Right.
it completely took the Jersey boy out of road rage. Like I might just say, are you kidding me? They might get some of those comments out of my mouth, but it's never like, you son of a, nothing. Because it clears your mind. It chills you out due to the physiological effect it has on our nervous system. So,
Slows everything down.
you know, really practice that, you know, and I can say this to a guy, you know, but I can say to a woman, pull your head out of your ass, man, and just say, okay, shake it off. Now we're going to move forward. And again, you were one of 4 people out of 137 that got picked out of a pile. Like, wasn't like we went through anything, just pick them. Just pick them. And maybe that'll help them with their movement, knowing that, okay, you got that call. What can I do to say to you that you haven't heard right now?
Honestly, I don't know. It's a lot of just like intrusive thoughts of like, you know, I'm not good enough. What your assistant here was saying was, you know, I'm used to helping other people so much. Even when I was a kid, I was always like the backbone of the family. Like a lot was placed on me. I had to grow up quick. So I'm not used to taking time for myself. And I think that's the hardest thing for me to get over. Like, where I could worry about myself later until something happens with my physical health. And it's starting to get to that point. You know, I'm having to see a cardiologist now, but I'm trying to help and save so many other people in my life that it's hard to focus on myself.
So let me ask you, if you get that heart attack, and you go down and you don't get up in the next 2 seconds. This way we're only talking about right now, not in the future. What happens to your family?
Honestly, they're scared.
So you are the most important person in your life.
Right.
That's the point. You know, I can remember, I don't know if you remember him being a big wrestling fan, his name was Brickhouse Brown, and he worked Memphis.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
And I was there in Memphis when I was a manager, working with the AWA and Dallas and Memphis, and I was up there and I met Brick, and he was a young wrestler coming up. I was a manager. I wasn't even wrestling yet. Now, that was in '89. Now let's go to '97 when I'm on fire, on top of the world. And I walk in the Memphis arena, there's Brick. He's like, DDP, man, so proud of you. Man, he goes, I heard you're doing a lot of inspirational speaking, man. He said, can you inspire me? I said, like a comedian telling a joke? He's like, no, man, really, man, I'm going through some really tough times. I go, what's the matter? What's pulling you down? He goes, I'm going through a tough divorce. I said, yeah, that sucks. I get that. But do you have cancer? It's like, no, man, why would you say that? I said, because that's a real problem. Like, that's not a problem we can't fix, but that's a fucking real problem. And I said, Brick, you're right down the street from Danny Thomas's, hospital for kids with cancer. I said, I've been down there a bunch of times, man. I said, those kids, if you went there and you saw them, they don't know if you're Brickhouse Brown from Memphis or WWF or WCW. They just know you're a wrestler. And you took the time to see them. I said, you go down there and see those kids. Most of them were dying from cancer. That's how they end up there. I go, and they got the biggest smiles on their face ever. Tell me you can leave there and still feel sorry for yourself, And it just went, wow, that's good advice, D. And he ended up doing it and it ended up helping him. The point is, you are the most important person. And after that comes your child, and then your wife, and your family,
and all
etc.
the people that you're helping, because just like those kids, you're helping people just like that. You're potentially the bright part of their day. You're potentially the person that's helping them get past something difficult. And you really have to think about yourself in the way that how you're going to make yourself feel better. And I mean, you wouldn't say all these mean things to other people, right? It's like how you talk to a friend. You need to talk to yourself like you talk to a friend. That changed my life when I started doing that too,
Right.
So it really comes down to the repetitions of affirmations leads to belief. And once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. For anybody who's never heard me say that before, who's listening to this is what the guy said. I am the greatest. I am the greatest of all time. And every time I do that, everybody goes, Ali, 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 Ali. It's like, how do you know that? Because he said it a billion times. That's why. He lived it. He'd been saying it since he was a kid. He believed it. And when he died, I got the cover of Time magazine with the one fist out here, that famous picture of him with the white shorts and the black stripes and the red punch gloves. And it just said the greatest. Then how long he lived, and Muhammad Ali under that. Right. So listen to what you already know, and start filling yourself with positive affirmations, bro.
Well, we have a next person lined up, Paul. But thank you so much for coming again. Stay in touch with us. 30 days. You have my email. Let us know how you're doing, because we definitely want to catch up with you, okay? Thank you so much for coming, Paul. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome, bro.
Hello, Eric.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you, Eric.
Well, thanks for the opportunity for this. I appreciate it.
Well, it's good to have you on, Matt. Why don't you tell us your story for people who don't know?
Yeah, so my story is I've been struggling with weight my whole life. The athlete, I was always the bigger kid growing up. I was the football player, wrestler, doing all that. And eventually when that time stopped, when the game stopped for me, in 2004, I had my daughter. She was actually 3 months premature. And so it's kind of a choice. It was either father role, football role, or the football road. And I ended up, focusing on my family, gave up football. But the thing about that is I kind of forgot who I was. Like my whole identity, everything was within sports. And then when that left, I had to fill in that gap. And unfortunately, raising my daughter wasn't enough to lose the weight. Then I had a wake-up call in 2021 when my nephew went to join the National Guard. He went out for reserves, and that was the first time when we took the photo, and I saw, wow, I'm 475.
Wow.
That was kind of the first wake-up call. And then the following year, my daughter was graduating high school, and I said, enough is enough. So I finally woke up, decided to take control, and decided not to lose the weight with fads or diets. So now I've gained and lost 100 pounds easily 3-4 times. It was all with the gimmicks, the trips, but it was all externally motivated by competitions. I couldn't do it myself. And then just finally, everything clicked and I was able to put it all together. Now I'm down 200 pounds overall, especially with the DDPY community and all that. And all the motivation you guys have. Every time I felt like I was stepping away or kind of felt lost, I always loved coming back to the community, going onto the Facebook posts, and then there's always support. It's not like I never was judged. And that's just what I love. So now I'm 200 down now, and my goal is to get down to, my first goal is 265 for new goal. And then this winter, I plan on getting a scuba certification. My ultimate goal is to be 235 so I can skydive, because apparently there's a weight limit on skydiving. Who would have thought?
I love that. I love the new goals. I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's always, especially when you overcome a hurdle like you did, you had to be completely clicked in. You had to completely shift because you've been that 100-pound bouncer. I've seen plenty of people do it. You even start the program because they don't do the mental work. And the mental work is more important than the physical work. What would you say?
It goes hand in hand. It's amazing how you finally put that, because you think the physical will help the mental, but it's the other way around.
Right. What would you say you're like when you went on this journey, what made it different than the other times?
The decision, the light switch, turning it on, saying there's no excuses. Everything is in my control. From what food I put in my mouth to if am I feeling hungry? Am I feeling bored? Learning to talk to myself, learning to communicate, and then staying true to my rules. So I just went basic and simple. Hey, just 2,200 calories. Let's start there because I've never done that. And then just don't eat after 9. Start with simple things and then build. And then get more clean, work on the healthier food, and slowly kind of work everything in. Because for me, I could see a self-sabotage happen where, if I didn't prep right or if I forgot to prep a meal, well, then that day isn't a good excuse to have a day off. Well, then that day off turns into 2 days off. Maybe get good on the 3rd day, then bad on the 4th day. So just eliminate all my self-sabotages because, again, been through it enough up and down.
Let me ask you this. It's a 2-part question. I'm going to ask you answer the first one, then I'm going to ask the second question. So that is confusing for people who are listening now. Unconfuse that. What would you tell your younger self if you could go back in time and talk to him, and how old would he be? So how old would he be is what the question I want to know first, and then I want to know what you tell your younger self.
Great question. So I would be 16.
Why 16? Why 16?
So 16 was a pretty pivotal time for me. So that's when I started to like really take a hold with the JV varsity or the varsity football team. Starting, I was good with a bunch of different sports, but more importantly, personally, like my relationships. That was the last year my dad was okay before he ended up being diagnosed with cancer. That kind of changed a lot of the life patterns. And I would tell that 16-year-old me, because that was, hey, my only option was pro football or nothing. So what I would tell that 16-year-old me is, hey, you need to be humble. You don't know everything. And with what you're taught from your coaches and your teammates of being resilient and going through things, you'll make it through, but stay present, stay focused. Like, don't wander too much mentally. Don't think too much about the future, the what ifs, the should have been. Focus on the present, and you can always forgive yourself and start over the next day. But don't let it be too many days. Basically, forgive yourself. You can't control things, and if things go wrong, it's just let it go. Forgive yourself and forgive others.
I love how you said that. You said, don't be afraid to forgive yourself. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's power. A lot of people don't. They dwell on the what ifs and what should have been. Like for my WWE career, I imagined it completely different than what happened. I was on a podcast with Stone Cold Steve Austin a couple of years ago, and we were at his ranch out in outside of Tahoe, Nevada, and he said to me, "So, kid, we've never talked about this," and I live with him. This, in between WWE and this interview, and he said, "Did you guys ever realize how much heat you had, trying to put us out of business?" Which none of the boys were ever trying to do that. Eric Bischoff was trying to do that, but only because Bischoff's a knockout artist,
Yeah.
But he said it, like he verbally said it. We're going to put them out of business, and that's the last thing we wanted. But he said, "Did you realize how much heat you had?" And I said, no, I had no idea till I got there. And then when I saw what they were doing with my career, I was realizing, oh boy, this is not good. And not that, today I wouldn't have changed a thing. Because if I would have got the People's Champion versus People's Champion angle, my life would have been completely different. But I wouldn't have the life I have right now, which I wouldn't give this up for anything. I'm living at 6 months from 69. I'm living my best life ever. And so you got to go through those times, those trials and tribulations to get there. And that's why I want to know. You got to, I had to, even though it looked like it was the right move to make at the time, I had to finally let that go. And then, of course, the WWE brought me in 5 years later to do the very best of Nitro, and had to help. And I've had a really good run with them because now it's all WWE. We're all a family. But I always felt like that. But it took a while to forgive myself for letting that fall. But it was the best thing ever happened to me. And let me ask you this: for me personally, when I look back at the things that happened to me in my life, what looked like the worst thing never happened to me, over and over again, if you really stay the course and keep putting the work in and try to keep your head up, it turns out to be the best thing never happened to me. Would you say you've gone through anything like that?
I'd fully agree. I say the key factor is the pain is where you learn to grow. I mean, you're not going to change without any sort of uncomfort or any sort of the whole process of change is to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. That was the big thing, the big mental switch for me there too. I can't admit I forgot your first question that you're asking.
No, you actually answered it.
You got it.
I'm honestly still in disbelief that I'm here talking. So. This is the first time I'm actually verbalizing and thinking of the story, and it's kind of weird, putting it out there, the self-promotion in a way.
Well, it's not even that. It's your story will resonate with so many people. Like back when I guess in 1985, I look at it like this, and the Chicago Bears, won the world, the Super Bowl, and I'll never forget them giving, John Madden announcing when Refrigerator Perry, went over for the touchdown. And he's 300 pounds. I mean, he's 300. Like 300 pounds was a big deal back then. Today, 300 pounds in high school is nothing. Is nothing.
Yeah, that's a wide receiver for most teams.
Right. So it's like today, it's different, man. When you see someone who's 400, you say 475 is what you got to.
Yep.
We've had guys at that level, and I'm sure you saw some of them do it and change their life. We had Jared Mullenkoff was at 517 pounds. In 17 months, he lost 327 pounds or something like that. Whatever he was 320 pounds he lost in 17 months. And it was funny. I was at a DDP yoga workshop in Vegas, and I talk about clean eating and try to, eventually, like you took it in spaces and it worked for you, which is really what I always want for people. Hey, whatever works for you, make it your own. But I was talking about being gluten-free and dairy-free, and just because for the inflammation, it helps you lose weight a little faster. And Jared raises his hand and he says, DDP, he goes, I don't want to burst your bubble or anything, but I'm not gluten-free or dairy-free. And I said, really? Now I know what he eats. I said, so what do you consume in a day? And basically he said, vegetables and protein and fruit. I said, hey bro, guess what? You're gluten and dairy-free. You're also soy-free and this free, that. You're eating vegetables and protein and fruits. So, I want people to, they're going to see your story. People are going to come through to listen to this, and they're going to see your story. They're going to relate to it and go, God, he did that. Yeah. Maybe I can do that. That's why we do this.
I hope to give it back to you guys, too, because the DDPY community, I'm here because of the community, because of the group. From Arthur to seeing Vance to you, Chase. I know all those, each period of time when I was trying to lose weight, I kind of clung, or I found myself attracted to different people in the group with their success, and you're not doing it alone. That was the best part.
And that community on Facebook that we have now with the Positively Unstoppable and the entire community that we have, DDP Yoga, one word, because everybody's trying to help and encourage each other.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No judgment. No judgment, man. Yeah. Super special and so proud of you, dude. And we're gonna come back and check in with you as you're going through this last part of your journey, and I'm just super proud of you.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Eric. I'm very excited for people to hear your story, especially because of your way of approaching your transformation and small steps, your goal setting. I love the fact that you have goals after you achieve what you have coming up. And yeah, we're excited to share this. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I really appreciate it too.
Hey, awesome. Great job, brother. See ya.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Okay, let me tell you something. I liked you even better than Steve. No, that was Steve, you, Mr. Inspiration. I love having him here. Anytime we're doing it, but I love doing it with you too. You did a great job.
Thanks.
You did a great job.
Here to support.
Now give the what they need to do if they want to try to get on.
If you want to come on the show and have a pep talk with DDP, just go ahead and find the form online. We will post it in our websites. Feel free to submit your story, and you might get a chance to get to talk with DDP himself.
See you guys. Stay strong. And remember, if you say you can or you say you can't, you're what? You're right.
Bye.